How's it going, everybody? Welcome to OP Entertainment. I'm Pratik Cherian.
And I'm Omar Darwish.
And today we are talking about WandaVision, episode 5.
A very special episode.
On a very special episode. So we're going to do things a little bit different here. There is so much to talk about, and all of it is spoilers, basically. Most, if not all of it, is spoilers. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the episode kind of from beginning to end, or at least as best as we can remember it.
We're going to try.
We're going to try just to make sure that we don't leave anything out. Because I know every time we stop shooting, we look at each other and go, man, we forgot to talk about this.
Didn't talk about this. Didn't talk about that.
Yeah, so we're going to go through it piece by piece, try to do our best to get all the way through it. And that way So this is your spoiler warning in advance. Full spoilers from here on out.
All right.
Okay. So just starting off the bat, let's talk about the kids. Okay? Because a lot of this episode did focus on the kids.
My favorite part was when they grow, change ages. It was like how, if you remember, like the original, like Roseanne,
I don't, but okay.
The original like Roseanne intro, it would show them small and then getting bigger, and it's almost like photos on top of each other, just changing, and they kind of did that the same way, and it was that was really unique to me. They grew at about the rate we thought they were, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
They went from infants to 5 to 10. And then kind of stop there.
And what's interesting is it seems like they have the ability to grow when they want. Because Wanda was like, don't grow, don't change, you know?
Not only do they have the ability to grow how they want, they seem like they're fully outside Wanda's control. Even when they're infants and she's like, all right, you know what? Parents need a little help. Stop crying.
Yeah,
and then they would not stop crying. Which is incredibly interesting to me. I really wonder where they're going to take that specific thread.
You know why? It's probably because Vision's not under her control either. Because he seemed to be able to fight that off too.
Yeah.
Maybe because the kids are a part Vision.
One other interesting thing, just nod to the comics real quick. I did enjoy the fact that the color schemes of each kid match their costumes in the comics for when they become superheroes.
Oh, that's cool.
Super, super nerdy. I don't know that anyone would notice it, but I loved it.
The dog was from the comics too, right? Sparky?
So Sparky's from a different comic than that. It's one where Vision creates his own completely android family and then creates a dog for them.
Okay. So they're just taking elements from it.
Yeah, they're taking elements from
they didn't use
which
him much.
Honestly, that run on the comics also, before WandaVision started, everyone assumed it'd be heavily influenced by that because it's Vision moving his family into the suburbs, and there's a lot of that. So, and there are elements of it, but that part was also pretty cool. Speaking of the dog, though, just transitioning to Agnes.
Okay. She deserves an Emmy. Just saying. If she doesn't get an Emmy nom at this point, she's played so many different decades worth of and she does it so well. But go on.
Well, speaking of Emmy nom, I feel like over the course of our WandaVision reviews, we've ended up giving Emmy nominations to all the main cast.
Oh yeah, they're all amazing.
At least the ones in the sitcom world, anyway.
This is the most prestige show right now. Forget Mandalorian. This is what it is.
The acting in this overall was just fantastic. But let's talk Agnes for a second. So I found it interesting how much Vision was putting the pieces together where he goes, oh, okay, she shows up whenever we need anything. Anytime we need something, she just shows up.
With exactly what we needed. Yeah, when she brings the doghouse. Yeah, that was... Yeah. That's giving me hope that these last episodes, are going to be very Vision-centric. It's going to be him figuring it out, it's going to be more from his point of view. I want more scenes with just him, going through and, kind of the scene with Norm, which was... so Twilight Zone-y,
yeah.
This is literally Marvel's Twilight Zone little episodes they're doing. It's so great, dude.
Yeah, I did. So the beginning of the episode with the infant kids, I did find it interesting. So the episode, Agnes shows up, and I like that part where Vision's no, have you washed your hands? Have you done this? Don't touch the kids. And she freezes, and she goes, do you want me to take that from the top?
Yeah. Oof.
Right. So,
and did you notice when she does that it gets completely silent.
Yeah,
Not even the babies are crying or anything. So that made me think, maybe all of that, everything that we were hearing isn't real, right? But we learn later on, which we predicted, that she's not just, this isn't just an illusion. She's creating these things like a god would create something.
Right. We get that later on where it's okay, she's actually changing reality inside the bubble.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Inside the hex, I guess, as they're calling it.
And when Monica says, no, those kids aren't cast kids from that lived in Westview originally. These are her kids. She made them.
Speaking of which, we're jumping ahead, but...
We are.
It doesn't matter. what do you think happened to all the kids in Westview? Because there's no kids.
You think maybe she took like the souls of all these kids to be able to conjure up her own? Because when they mention like bring the dog back from being dead, fix his dead or whatever, and she's like, she starts to think, I can't do that, but maybe I did. So maybe she is doing that. Because I at first when that happened, I thought she's thinking about Vision and how she's bringing Vision to life. But I think it's really more how she brought these kids to life because she conjured them.
But the kids feel like they're outside her control. So did she really?
Maybe that's just because they have her powers.
I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. There's so many. As much as this episode solved stuff,
it introduced a whole bag of questions. Now,
yeah. Where did all the kids go? I personally, my theory is that Wanda, as the jury's still out on whether she's doing it or not. But I feel like even she couldn't bring herself to like enslave kids.
Isn't Mephisto involved though with the whole kids thing? So. In the comics,
she uses pieces of his soul, but that doesn't necessarily mean that something happened with the kids of Westview.
Maybe she had to bring all the kids in Westview to Mephisto to be able to get her own kids.
But that would imply that she's doing it like purposely.
Yeah, which we don't know if she is or not.
I think we can.
That little line she has where she's like, I don't know how any of this started, makes me feel like there was an outside influence.
Well, not only that, so I also think that the fact that outside of Westview, they've leaned so hard and Wanda's the one doing all of this makes me think that we're definitely getting something else.
Yeah, because
they're leaning too hard into that.
Too early as well. Yeah. Like we would, if the Wanda really was, then we would learn that at the end. It wouldn't be like
if Wanda's actually doing this at this point, it's a disappointment.
Exactly.
Yeah. So getting back to Agnes, do you think Agnes is under her control? Is she helping her? Are we still leaning on the Agnes is helping the mystery third party behind the scenes?
I'm pretty sold on she's Agatha Harkness or whatever her name is. I think she's the witch friend to help raise the babies with Wanda. Yeah,
which is why she always shows up with exactly what they need, like they said. Which is why she seems to have a level of autonomy outside of everything else. It's why she can fully be like, oh, I'm in the sitcom. I'm going to take this from the top kind of thing.
I won't take the idea of her being Mephisto out of my head, though. She may be at least under Mephisto's control, like he's the husband or something.
I think working with or
under the influence of Mephisto.
She just seems like she's way too independent of a person to be working under somebody else's control, kind of thing. I feel like that's a choice.
Yeah, yes, but I don't know. At the same time, though, she seems scared. You know what I mean? So I feel like she's not top dog in this.
Yeah, no. I don't think she's top dog, but I also don't think that somebody's forcing her to do something.
I kind of do. I don't think that it's a co-lead thing with them. I don't think it's a team effort with her and Mephisto.
Well, not co-lead, but sidekick. I'm leaning strong into sidekick. I don't think I don't think it's unwilling participant. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So this episode jumped back and forth between what's inside the sitcom and what's outside.
Yeah, which we were wondering if they were going to do that.
Which they did, and I thought I was going to hate it, and I don't.
I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they did it, honestly.
It gave us a lot.
It gave us a 41-minute episode. Finally, thank you. Jeez. I remember thinking, oh, no, the episode's about to end, and it never did. And I was like, oh, it keeps going? Oh, my God. It was great. It was so great.
Yeah, no, and which makes sense that they'd make it longer, because the 30 minutes was when we're sticking strictly to, the sitcom-type conventions. Yep. And with this bouncing back and forth, it makes sense that this would be a little bit longer to fit all those extra things in.
Whenever a sitcom scene is happening, I'm thinking there must be a double entendre with everything that's being said right now. So I try to, but some of it just seems like it's just they're trying to pay homage to 80s sitcom and stuff, and it doesn't really mean too much. But then there's the commercials.
I need the director's cut. Speaking of the commercials, though,
when you mess up,
when you make a mess,
that wasn't really your fault, is it?
Lagos. So for those of you that don't get what we're talking about, so Lagos is the country where in Captain America Civil War, that's where Wanda makes a mistake, explodes a building, and that's what leads to the Civil War
and everything, yeah.
Which was the mess that she didn't intend to make. That the paper towel is now cleaned up. Which heavily leans into the idea that all these commercials we're seeing are just scenes from Wanda's past. It's her trauma, right? Because we got the Stark, which is Stark weapons, are what killed her parents.
It's everything that she feels grief about. Honestly,
Which ties into again when Monica was first being debriefed in that first scene we get outside the bubble, and she talks about what it feels like to be under Wanda's control, and it's just grief, right?
Yeah.
It's just grief. Which I kind of wonder. So Wanda's a telepath,
Yeah.
right? But she's never, and they touch on this in the episode too, where like she's never displayed this level of power. She's never, her power in the comics or just in this universe has never been, she's not Professor X, she's not Jean Grey. It's never been this like heavy amount of mind control. And they talk about how like she's exhibiting powers that are way beyond what she's shown before, which again kind of
is that just because she hasn't shown him before though, or is that because somebody else is helping her?
I feel like somebody's giving her a boost.
Mephisto.
And so yeah, this grief is coming from Wanda, but it's somebody like amplifying all of that.
But she even says what we've all been saying. She could have killed Thanos, which minor nitpick with this episode. Were they there? Were like ESPN cameras set up at the battle of Endgame? Like how do they know exactly what happened? Like, well, if he had to do a whole blitz on her to be able to survive and all this, and like, and when Randall Park's character talks about she gained their trust later on though, like, how do you know these little emotional details about like from Ant-Man? Like, you know,
I feel like it's
because he's FBI.
Yeah, there's a shared intelligence going. I feel like it's not out of the realm of possibility, especially if it's like, hey, like, you're the Avengers. Why is that terrorist there?
Yeah,
you know?
They're like, and maybe Tony one time just told them like,
sure,
well, she was
Tony or Steve or one of them. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. But yeah, talking about the stuff outside the bubble, Director Hayward, and we get the scene of him like showing the footage of Wanda breaking into the sword facility,
which a lot of people were speculating that she took Vision's body,
right? Which here we get confirmation that it did, and but now it really makes me call into question the whole everything from episode 4 where he sends her in like, oh, the FBI is like asking us for this thing, like we're just gonna go because you're grounded.
Yeah,
is any of that real?
I don't know. Like how so? Like
so he sent Monica in there, but at the same time, we know that he already knew that Wanda had stolen Vision's body because that happened 9 days ago.
Well,
from a sword facility.
I think that he obviously has another agenda. Like, he put a missile on the drone and she didn't even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, he obviously has stuff that he's not telling her. He's playing his own game, and he doesn't want that. They're pawns. Everyone's a pawn in this right now.
But what I mean is, so him even sending Monica in, also another pawn move to.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was like, he wants to get rid of her anyway, so he probably figured Wanda would kill her or something. I think that's really what it is, because he knows that she's the only thing that threatens his position right now.
Yeah.
Which has been real overdone in the MCU, and I'd actually like it if he was just stayed a good guy. He's been a dick this whole time, but...
Is that not just... That's just media in general, though,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm thinking X-Men, MCU, Jason Bourne, like, anything you get, it's like the long-time, like, government bureaucrat is always evil every time.
I would just love it if he, like, sacrifices himself at the end to save somebody or something. Like just let him go out.
Also kind of been done, though.
But it's better than this. Like, I don't know. It'd be better than if he's literally just... Obadiah Stane or whatever the skinny Obadiah Stane was in Ant-Man.
No, I'm interested to see where that's going to go too. Anything else you want to talk about as far as
before we get to the big thing? No, let's get to the big thing. So leading into it though, when she is talking to them or her kids, and they're like, "Do you have a brother?"
Wait, not that big thing.
Oh,
I want to talk about her. I want to talk about her confrontation with.
With Sword?
Yeah.
That as soon as they show somebody coming out of the bubble, I'm like, dude, is she about to come just murder all of them? I thought she was just gonna come out there and be like, go away and just like destroy all their weapons and everything, and like, but she was a little soft on them. What do you think about that though?
I find it interesting that she had an accent.
The accent, that was the first thing I said. I was like, does she have her accent back? You know what? I love it though, because that's been a nitpick with her, is that she has such a thick accent in Age of Ultron, and then in Civil War she doesn't really have it, so they've defended it saying, well, she's incognito right now, you know, she's trying to hide it. And she doesn't have that many lines in Civil War, so I'll let that pass. The fact that in the prior episode she hasn't had an accent, I'm like, okay, so I guess they just got rid of the accent.
Or even
all in all.
in Infinity War she didn't have an accent. In Endgame she didn't have an accent.
I think I've actually rewatched them, and I think she does have a bit, just a tad of an accent, just a tad of it. Like it's not enough for me to be like she lost her accent completely. More like she's a New Yorker and she's not in New York, so she's trying to fit in.
I just feel like in this case the use of the accent was so intentional. I almost wonder if that wasn't Wanda.
Oh no, it was Wanda.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
I would be willing to bet it was her. Cause yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like it's playing off of everything that that Wanda seemed to be completely in control. Like, she did all of this. And then the Wanda we see in the sitcom doesn't seem to be quite at that level of control.
She kind of is when Vision's like, you can't control me. She's like, can't I? And then brings the credits up. She seems to know she's in control. And she knows she's in control with that line of, I don't know how any of this started, but she's taking advantage of it. And even Vision says, I don't think you started this, but you're taking advantage of it pretty much. Like,
yeah, I don't know. That scene,
I wouldn't be super shocked.
Flag that scene for later.
Okay. I get it. You want to have a prediction that was right, like I did. But okay.
Listen, I don't need more right predictions. Okay, I've had plenty.
I've had the only one I need with this episode. Can we get to it, Pratik?
All right.
Have we covered everything? Everything?
Yeah, no, I think we have.
Okay,
I will say this before we get to the last thing. Just last little tease. That last 12 minutes of the episode.
Some of the best 12 minutes of television I've ever seen.
Yeah, right up. I was going to say some of the best. That might be that 12-minute sequence. I'll put that up against anything in the MCU.
Yeah, for sure. This has already solidified itself almost. I'm going to let it finish out, but this is the coolest, most unique thing that Marvel has done yet. Yeah. Like, I love it. But I want to talk about something real quick before we get to the big thing. When Vision comes in and he just confronts her, like, I spoke with Norm outside of your illusion. I was like, oh snap, he's getting right to it. I thought he was just gonna play along for a little bit and awaken more people first and get a little bit more.
It seems like he has that ability. Mm-hmm. Like he can. I assume it's some sort of like phasing into their
which we
brain.
see that in the trailer. He does it to Agnes in the trailer.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So when she's in the car and she's like, you were dead or something. Yeah. So man, dude, we're really all right, But the fact that he confronted her on that makes me feel like, man, so these next few episodes, we can't go back to sitcom now, right? We can't. It's probably going to stay in this time zone.
How powerful is Wanda?
She has no control over him, though. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it'll be the same if he's trying to bring like ruin her charade the whole time. You know?
It does seem though, and he kind of implies this too in the end, that every time the period like moves, there's kind of a reset.
Yeah, and he's like, you're gonna because you're just gonna change everything. Maybe when everything, and he also said it like when everything changes, it's harder for him to keep grasp of what's real and what's not.
Right.
That line he has where he's like, I don't know who I am. I don't know. I don't remember anything before the snap. Before this. I'm
before
scared.
Western,
yeah. And we were talking about earlier, or like in a earlier pod, how maybe this is like a new Vision. He doesn't have any of the early memories. So I really do think that now that we know she has his corpse, I think she didn't like resurrect the old Vision. She's made a new Vision. Like she has the Mind Stone powers. Yeah, she made a new Vision. She has what she needs to make a new Vision. And that doesn't mean he's going to be a completely different Vision. He's still Vision. He just doesn't have the memories that he's had before. So it gives us a way to still love Vision and still feel like he's the Vision we had. But he's got like it's like a clean slate Vision, really.
Yeah. I mean, how much of a person's memories make up who they are, though?
How much of an android's... Wait, what is he? He's not even an android.
Synthezoid.
He's a synthezoid, yeah.
So in episode 1, talking about the memories, in episode 1, Wanda also seems to be... doesn't seem to be able to remember anything before that. Is that just an act?
I think she at that point is trying to convince herself of it being real.
Because I kind of like Vision's theory that at first this started almost built off of her subconscious, and then she realized what was happening.
I think maybe she assumed it was a dream at first, and then she started taking advantage of when she realized, she thought of it as like a lucid dream, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I think we're gonna get more explanation on that, but oh my God, Quicksilver shows up in this, and it's not Aaron Taylor Johnson, it's Evan Peters, Pratik. Who said this?
Do you think that's Quicksilver?
Yes, 100%. Because he says your old brother can't give you a hug.
Yeah.
Does she have another brother?
No.
Then what do you don't think it is?
What? Okay. How do you? Because she says I didn't do this. So she said that before it happened.
She didn't willingly do it, but you know when it happens because her kids ask her, "Did you have a brother?" And she says, "She didn't say I had a brother." She said, "I have a brother." Just like that, she brought him in. I have a brother.
How? From where?
She created him from the Fox universe.
But she didn't even recognize him at first.
Yeah, exactly. But she knew though, because when she saw him, she said, "Pietro?" Like, she knew it was him, and she gave him the hug. She wasn't like, no, get out, like Monica Rambeau. She knew on some level that that's Pietro.
But she also didn't recognize him at first.
Because he looks completely different. He's recast, which this is all I've ever wanted from this.
Oh, God.
I'm going on my rant. Kevin Feige saw Days of Future Past, and he was like, oh, damn it. They did a way better Quicksilver than us. Hey, Joss, kill him off at the end of this. Kill him off at the end of this. We're not going to use him. But what are we going to do? We'll get him some. We'll get that Quicksilver someday. Well, don't worry. We'll get him. No, that's the best thing they have right now. Are you kidding me? That was the best scene in the movie they just put out. No, we'll get him eventually. And what did he do? He recast Quicksilver with the Quicksilver that everybody preferred. And he said, yeah, just deal with it. This is ours now. You did a better one. This is our Quicksilver now. That's the biggest boss move Kevin Feige has ever done. Period. Unless he decides to just drop $4 billion for the rights to Spider-Man to keep him, this is the biggest boss move, and even still, this would still be the biggest boss move. Like, Kevin Feige can do no wrong. He could greenlight anything, and I'd be like, oh my god, I can't wait.
All right.
You happy? This one. Yes, I'm happy. This one thing just made all the X-Men movies canon. Assuming that this is Quicksilver, which I'm assuming he is.
I still have so many questions about it. Hold on. So let me go into theories for a second.
Go ahead.
So one did she pull him from a multiverse?
She pulled him from the Fox universe.
Are we sure?
I'm positive about it. I'm pretty positive.
Or is he just one of the residents of Westview that she just cast or made?
That's a bit convoluted if you get into that, because
or if there's somebody behind the scenes, did they do this? Necessarily, because in the Fox universe, he doesn't have a sister.
I don't think that.
So it can't,
he does. Yeah, he does.
No, he
has. He's
but not. It's not Wanda.
But in this universe, it's not Evan Peters either. Like, that's the whole point.
And the thing is, like, and in universe, they recognize that that's a different person. Darcy even says it. She recast Pietro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, which again is a great sitcom like call out of how recasting people because you couldn't make the contracts work.
It's also a good call out to they recast Quicksilver in real life. It's so meta. Like, it's almost. I was waiting for her to look at the camera.
I'm waiting for more because I think there's more to this. This could be pulled from the multiverse. You might be right with that, but I want to wait and see.
I know exactly what's gonna happen. I'm so confident about this.
Oh, God. All right, go on.
So Quicksilver is gonna continue to just be sitcom-y, and then Vision's gonna awaken him, and he's gonna be like, "I'm from a world where all of the mutants exist," and he's gonna reference the X-Men. He's gonna do it.
That's gonna be cheesy as hell.
It's gonna be handled correctly because we both like jumped and screamed when this happened.
It was great the way they brought it. I've got a taste. Now I just want to see where this goes because I almost feel like we're jumping too far into they're bringing all the X-Men in. And I feel like WandaVision has been a slower burn up until this point, and I kind of want to see if we're going to get slow
up
burn
until this point. Though, everything just exploded in this episode, dude. Like, they gave us everything we wanted with this episode. I honestly don't know what to expect from the next one. I like and hate how they ended it right as he shows up, as Quicksilver shows up, because you're right. We don't know exactly if that's the one from Days of Future Past.
Super quick timeout. She says Pietro, right?
Yeah.
That's not his name in the Fox universe.
Is it not?
No, it's Peter.
It's probably just his Americanized name. I mean, you're foreign. I'm foreign. We've got relatives that's real names are like Shasweek or whatever, and then they just go by. I can't think of a name, an American name that starts with that. And they just go by Charlotte or something. You know what I mean? Sorry if I just offended everybody in some random country. That's your name. That's a beautiful name. It's a beautiful, gorgeous name.
All right, have you dug your way out of the hole now?
I don't know. Come on. I feel like Mark Ruffalo when he spoiled the Infinity War thing. Half all the people die. No, he's like, dude, just move on. Come on.
No, I don't know. There's enough inconsistencies there where I'm not willing to just buy them. Oh, this is we've got the multiverse now. It's also just completely out of left field.
But also, we know that he met with Patrick Stewart. Kevin Feige met with Patrick Stewart, and not just that. Okay, J. Jonah Jameson was J.K. Simmons was J. Jonah Jameson in,
but not the same J. Jonah Jameson.
Do we know that?
Fairly certain. Maybe
he just got older. The bugle went under. He started a blog or whatever it is, an angry podcast.
I don't know. They haven't said that it's the same one. They've always implied that it's something different.
I have one more question though. Sure. So we know that there's going to be, because Elizabeth Olsen said, there's going to be like a Luke Skywalker-esque cameo in this people are going to just go crazy, right? This is it? Or there's going to be something bigger? Because this was crazy, but
we also knew he was in this.
But again,
we've been talking about it before.
Does she know that what we know? Does she know that we
The interview was kind of recent, I would think so.
Was it? Well, yes, but is she really on it? Like, oh, the fans found out about this. Maybe she doesn't know.
Maybe. I'm still putting my money on Patrick Stewart, actually.
I actually think it's going to be Patrick Stewart and Magneto now.
Could it? Ooh, wait, both? Could it be Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool?
You know, I've actually heard that as a theory, and that's be so dumb. I think that would be really, that would honestly ruin everything. You know, they probably have a way.
It's a completely different tone.
It's a completely different tone, and it's like what? Also, when him showing up does what? You know what would be great is Wanda's about to wreck shop, and then everything just pauses, and you're like, wait, why did everything just stop? And Professor X just rolls in with a wheelchair, dude, with Magneto, and then oh my gosh.
You're a much bigger X-Men fan than me. That's all I'm gonna say.
I put the X-Men movies, most of them, like up with the Marvel movies, MCU movies for the most part, other than
different pod for a different time. But we should actually do that one.
Oh, we will. MCU versus Fox, or just okay?
Yeah,
we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll just have to rank Marvel movies, like top 10 Marvel movies in general. And then you'll be...
And then everyone can cry when I leave all the X-Men movies off that top 10.
No, First Class is going to be on there. We're going off on a tangent.
All right. You want to score this?
Hold on, though. Speaking of First Class, though, if it is Professor X, McAvoy, Stewart...
I feel like it depends on what they're going to do going forward. I feel like Stewart has more weight. McAvoy has more future, so it just depends on what they're going to do.
I'll give you more of a specific. If it's Magneto and Professor X... Does that change anything for you? Because I feel like they won't go with the Ian McKellen Magneto. They'd go with Fassbender, right?
Again, so I feel like if they're going to keep these characters in the MCU for the future, then McAvoy and Fassbender. If it's more of like, here's a cool nod, and then we're going to like fix the multiverse breach,
which would be dope.
Then we'd get Stewart.
Which would be dope.
Either way, it'd be cool.
Because that would establish this X-Men universe exists somewhere, and then they never even have to reference them again. Just now bring in the X-Men to our universe, and we're like, oh, these are the same characters in our universe. I don't think that'll break people's minds. Like, they'll understand that, right? And then you can recast Cyclops, recast Wolverine, recast Professor X and everything. And this is just a different X-Men from this universe, you know what I mean? Or a different universe because where the hell have they been this entire time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Well, I'm excited to find out, though.
The only thing that really matters is Quicksilver showed up, and it was Evan Peters. And they tried to make you think from the first shot, the way they framed it with his head. They even made his head look skinnier or something with his haircut. They were like, is this Aaron Taylor Johnson? When they showed the back of his head, did you think it might be Aaron Taylor Johnson for a second? You knew it was Evan Peters?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew, but I'm also a mystic, a psychic. I don't know. There's
fraud.
I've been called... I'm just saying, just keep an eye on my predictions from now on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. When Senor Scratchy turns out to be the devil, I'll call you.
When the devil is in the rabbit, this was an off-camera theory I had, was that Mephisto is inside of the rabbit right now because they call him Senor Scratchy.
Okay.
And Mr. Scratchy.
Please don't explain it.
I'm just saying.
Let's just score the episode and get out of here. How about that?
All right. Well, I don't know. Probably like a 2. Psych. This is a 10. It would be an 11. This is the best episode. You get so much. Kevin Feige knows what we want, and he gives it to us. This was amazing.
Yeah, even without the Quicksilver stuff, throw that out completely. Sure. I still give it a 10. Like I said, that last 12 minutes is probably my favorite 12 minutes in one of my favorite, as far as acting's concerned. That 12 minutes is a masterclass in acting and emotions and everything. That by itself makes this a 10 for me. It's a 10. It's a 10 regardless of what happens.
I was expecting Agnes to be the one at the door. I didn't even expect it to be anything big. And then when it cut after she opened her eyes and saw who it was, or opened the door and saw who it was, I was like, oh, maybe it is someone bigger.
Yeah,
dude,
that's cool. I'm so excited. I'm gonna watch this 4 more times.
Man, we have a whole week. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this every day until that.
Our obligatory. I can't wait wait a week.
No, at least we got 40 minutes this time. So
right. So I can't use I can't believe it was so short this time.
It was a good length, Marvel. It was a great length. Keep them up, dude. What if the next one's even longer? Oh my god. If we go back to 20 minutes now, are you gonna be pissed?
No, I'm not.
I'm gonna be pissed because we got so much, but I will be mad if because we got so much in this, we don't get anything in the next one. I just find it hard to believe because we
have to come down to earth at some point, right?
Yeah, I guess no, but I like that it's just going bonkers. Every episode's bigger than the next.
Well, the rumor we heard was that Evan Peters was going to be in the next one.
Yeah,
right. So maybe he's actually got more lines. Maybe there's more dialogue. Actually something to do in that one. That would be cool.
I really hope Vision awakens him, and they just have so we get the real Evan Peters Quicksilver just talking with Vision the whole time, explaining all the stuff to him, and man.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well,
Want to take us out?
why don't you take it out? I'm done talking.
Oh man, I don't know if I can. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you guys were as hyped and excited and happy and satisfied with this episode as we were. Tune in next week for episode 6. Hopefully it's just as great.
We'll catch you later.
Catch you
like
later.
and subscribe. See ya.
Like and subscribe. See you guys.